Hello po, kumusta? Welcome again to my drawing studio, and today I'm gonna share with you another colored pencil tips and tricks. This is a powerful colored pencil technique and I call it the soft pastel base technique. Okay, so do you know that you can use soft pastels as a base for your colored pencil drawings? So this is what you are going to experience or to learn right now on this drawing tutorial. So for this drawing, I'm using two shades of soft pastels. I have the flesh and the light green. I combine them together. I mix them using this blending tool. I love this blending tool. You can use it for graphite, charcoal, or pastel. That is the foam applicator. So I'm using it just to blend all the soft pastels. So you can use any brands of soft pastels, but I encourage you to buy like a mid-range soft pastel. In this case, I'm using the Kohinoor Hardmouth Geoconda soft pastels, which is not too expensive, but very vibrant and very nice and very smooth. But you can use other cheaper brands of soft pastels. You just apply it like this. Be generous. I became very generous on the hair part of her hair because it's quite dark and I want it to be really nice and solid. So the goal of this technique is to have a solid drawing in terms of the shadows, in terms of the blending. And we might not be find it harder to blend in this case because we already have a nice solid base tone. So I'm using, you can use other colored pencil brands, but for this drawing, I'm using Prismacolor colored pencil and I'm using a rough texture paper here. I use the rough side of the Canson Mitiantes paper, which is gonna push this technique to the limits, and I love it. And yeah, and what it does actually, the base soft pastels is to provide us with a very nice solid skin tone and the hair part. The base provides us with a nice solid base, which will somehow help us make layering and blending a little bit easier. And you will see, because that's why I use bright pastel colors as base tone, because I want for my reference photo, when I observe it, it's like a glowing photo. So we might be able to achieve very easily that kind of a glowing skin tone. So if you have a dark skin tone, you may use darker colors as base, darker soft pastels. But for this one, this is like a real version, real human version of the famous anime couple right here, Naruto and Hinata. And they are like real people here in the drawing. That's why the pastel base will provide me with a solid foundation of the skin tone that is like human-like. So I already decided to finish Naruto's face with colored pencils, and now I'm going to show you how I did it in her face right here. So these are the colors that I use for Naruto's face. I'm gonna repeat it on her face, okay? But the shadows are quite different because his face is quite darker. That's why I added more dark colors, because of the shadow of her face is casted on his face. That's why it seems darker. And her face has a lot of nice highlights and glowing highlights here. So I decided to, as usual, go on with blocking in my dark shadows using all these colors I indicated above, all the colors that I use right here. So just layer after layer, and you can see the texture of the paper right there, because her face is not yet blended with the soft pastels. And unlike Naruto's face right there, it's fully blended, and I love it. I love how solid the shadows that was, or the tonal value of his face, which is naturally very dark because of the shadows that her face has over his face. So this is the true green, the clay rose. Okay, so I'm not very problematic in this point of the drawing when it comes to how it's going to blend. Is it going to blend well? That's why I decided to finish his face, because I wanted to make sure that the Prismacolor, a wax-based colored pencil, can blend with a powdery soft pastel. So that was the problem. But when I finished this face, I realized that it's going to be really nice. So you can see and observe right here as I layer all these colors on her face, exactly the colors that I used on his face, but a little lighter because her face seems to be glowing from the light that's coming from the right side of the picture. Okay, so yeah, I'm using the basic Prismacolor colors right here. I think you can use this technique with real people, because it will give you a very nice glowing smooth skin tone without trying too hard to blend. and mixed together because the powdery bright base tone that we put using soft pastels is really giving it a very nice and solid skin right here that is quite hard to achieve using, especially using Prismacolor and a rough super textured paper right here. So and now you can see from drawing the lips right here, the lips part, I use quite different colors here, but can you see how beautifully the Prismacolor blended with the powdery soft pastels, the wax and the powder mixed together to provide a different kind. There is something new and different with the look that I'm getting right now. I think you should try it with normal people. You should try it with other objects because yes, you can use soft pastels as a base for colored pencils. It is yeah, look at her hair. It's very dark, but I was able to use little bit of colored pencils and it becomes already nice and dark because of the dark blue. I used like a dark blue base tone of soft pastels on her hair and it looks really solid and powerful. I love it. This is indeed a powerful technique that you must try if you are colored pencil artist because you don't want to stick with just one technique. You should be able to try other techniques for you to have a kind of a different look on your drawing, and this is very nice. It looks really well. I love it. I want to know your comment below.